there's an experiment that took place in the 60s. Is what I'm talking about here when you get a stranger to murder somebody else. This is called the Milgram Experiment. Are you familiar with it?
No.
Can we bring it up? Well, just maybe some images of it. So there is, let me just pretend like Patrick's a volunteer for this experiment.
Okay.
You
see if you can pull it off.
Yeah. But I just want to put you in the scene here. You respond to an ad in the paper. It says where Yale University is doing an experimentation on learning and the power of learning. Mm-hmm. And you take the ad in the paper. They say, well, we'll give you a lunch voucher or a Subway sandwich or something for participating. So you take it up there. You go into this building. You go into a hallway. There's another guy there. You're both volunteers. There's a guy in a lab coat that's running this thing. And he says, we're going to draw straws. For one of you will be the teacher and one will be the learner. So the other guy draws the learner straw. He goes to you. You become the teacher. Unbeknownst to you, this other guy's a volunteer. He's in on it. You're the only person participating in the experiment. This guy in the lab coat walks you into this little room, which you can see like an above view right there, where the T is, that's teacher.
The top right. So the T is the teacher, the E is you.
The E is the experimenter. That's
Okay.
the dude in the lab coat.
Okay.
So Patrick is the T right there. So they sit you down at this machine. And they say, this is an electric shock machine. And it goes from like 30 volts all the way to the right where it says XXX danger extreme shock. And the goal is, so Patrick, you're going to read these little word groups to this guy in the other room. And before the experiment, they let you go into the other room right there, and you watch that guy get strapped to a shocking device.
The L.
Yeah, the learner. Yeah. So you watch that dude get strapped up to a learning device, and you're going to read these words out and see if he can remember them. And if he gets it wrong, you hit this button and deliver a shock. That wall right there is paper thin. It's just some drywall. So you can hear him go, you can, oh, for some of those intro shocks. But every time he gets one wrong, you have to take that little slider and move that voltage up one notch and shock him again. So the guy keeps getting it wrong. Around 250 volts, he's screaming every time. Around 275, he's saying, I have a heart condition. I want to stop. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to stop. I'm done with this. Come get me out of here. Around 400 volts, there's no more reaction. It's total silence, and he's not even answering the questions anymore. So you turn back around to this guy in the lab coat, and you're like, he's not answering these questions anymore. And the guy in the lab coat says, it's important that you continue. The experiment requires that you continue. So any non-answer must be treated as an incorrect answer. Please continue. So you keep reading out these words into a microphone, and shocking, increase, shock, increase, all the way to this 450 extreme thing. So before this experiment took place, these psychiatrists got together and they said, how many people are going to go through with this? Who's going to go all the way and kill somebody? Or so they think they're going to kill somebody. The shocks are not real. And they thought 0.8%. You have to be a psychopath. You have to want to hurt people. And in reality, 67% of people went all the way. All the way. This is a big deal. So Stanley Milgram's trying to find out, do people just respond to orders? Like the Nuremberg trials were going on. And these Nazis were saying we were just following orders. So Dr. Milgram says, let's test to see if that's true. So 250 volts is enough to kill you, right? And 100% of people went up to 250 volts. 100%. So there's a lot going on there, but none of it, the guy in the lab coat didn't have some secret hypnosis trick. He didn't have some sales script.
How many questioned it? How many said, no, I don't want to do it? And what was the incentive for the student to do this, to continue doing this?
There wasn't an incentive. It was obedience to authority was the main thing. There's a tall guy in a lab coat who looks like an official, looks like a doctor, and Dr. Milgram hypothesized that they undergo something called an agentic shift, where they become an agent on behalf of an authority figure. Does that make sense?
Yes. So I would have to trust to see that there is some sort of authority and somebody I'm trusting that's doing this, but there would have to be credibility with the individual that's asking me to continue doing this.
Yeah. But the credibility is novelty is first. So if you go back to our ancestral roots, let's say 10,000 years ago, let's say you and I lived in a tribe together, and every day you and me go out and we fish, and that's our job, to bring fish back. And every day we pass by this giant-ass bush, and one day we're coming back to our village together, we're carrying the fish, and behind that bush we hear a stick snap. Where is both of our focus? Right there. We're not thinking about our kids. We're not thinking about anybody back at home.
Sure.
Only on that stick.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we call novelty. So when something is new or unexpected, it generates a tremendous amount of focus. And then focus leads, so focus, authority, tribe, and emotion. So focus comes first. You respond to a newspaper ad you've never done before, into a building at Yale University you've never been to meet two guys you've never met, into a room you've never been in front of a machine that you've never seen before, reading these lists you've never seen before. Everything is brand new. So we have a tremendous amount of novelty, which generates focus. And the second, once I have focus, you start becoming hyper responsive to authority. So now we have this guy in a lab coat that's saying, you need to shock this dude in the other room. And this experiment's been repeated many, many times with very similar results. And now you're all in. Once you deliver that first shock, that's an agreement. You've made an identity agreement. It's just like the foot in the door technique with sales. Because once you've made a tiny little agreement at the beginning, now I've redefined who I am as a person. I am the person that's participating in this experiment. You've made that agreement. So it's focus, authority, and now you don't want to be seen as somebody who's disrupting everything. So now we have tribe. Does this make sense?
Yes. The theory I heard with this, I think we spoke about it with one of the mobsters that we had on the podcast, was it's a lot easier when somebody's giving you an order to kill someone because you're not doing it.
Yeah.
I need you to take out Johnny.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. You told me to do it.
Right.
So great, I'll go and take him out. So I got 18 hits. Not really, I don't have 18 hits. It's 18 hits that were ordered for me to go and do. Hey, take the shot. Like in this movie Homestead, the father tells the boy to take the shot. And the boy kills a person in the movie Homestead. And the boy doesn't know how to deal with it. But he took the shot, not because he took the shot. He took the shot because the father told him to take the shot.
Yeah.
Now, the part I want to know about is the 33% of people that didn't continue, 67% that did. The 33 that didn't, what did they learn about them? Was there a certain profile? Was it, this doesn't make any sense to me. Was it their questioning authority? What did they learn about the people that didn't continue?
The people that didn't continue had a higher level of autonomy, and their locus of control was very, very internal.
Locus of control, meaning?
Like, am I in charge of my results, or is it the environment?
Right.
And like I train attorneys all the time. We do trials and jury selections and stuff like that. And when we want to determine locus of control, because you're allowed to ask the jury one or two questions.
Sure.
And strike them if you want. We just ask them, how does somebody catch a cold? That's it. So you get one group of people that says, well, there's kids wiping their boogers all over the escalator handles. There's people coughing all over the place. People don't wear masks. People are just absolutely inconsiderate. If they're sick, they get out of the house. They don't stay home. They're just inconsiderate bastards. You hear the other person say, well, I didn't take care of my health. I didn't wash my hands. I didn't sanitize. I didn't wear a mask. It's all about them. So that's a perfect way to determine locus of control, just in one little quick question. So those people had a very strong internal locus of control. And that's like, if you're a parent out there, anybody that's a parent, I know you have kids that are like 11, 12 right now. When they go to the doctor, I let them know you are in charge. That doctor is your employee. They will leave when you tell them to leave. You ask all the questions that you want to ask. And you say, come over here, take a look at this. So you're in charge of everything. You have a rash under your arm because there's some deodorant that that made a red mark. Ask them. You can do anything you want. Ask them anything you want. So you want to teach your kids to have that locus of, you're not domineering, you're not ordering the doctor around, but you are understanding like he's there for you. And you're in charge of the situation. You can dictate what happens. So giving them that agency of you can determine your outcomes in life is so important. And that's where we have things like white coat syndrome, or there are people that get misdiagnosed from doctors and still suffer the symptoms. So they get a diagnosis of something they don't have and start developing symptoms right away.
There's another word for that as well. White coat syndrome.
Nocebo.
Right. Nowadays, more than ever, the brand you wear reflects and represents who you are. So for us, if you wear a Future Looks Bright hat or a Valuetainment gear, you're telling the world, I'm optimistic. I'm excited about what's going to be happening, but you're a free thinker. You question things. You like debate. And by the way, last year, 120,000 people got a piece of Future Looks Bright gear with Valuetainment. We have so many new things. The cufflinks are here. New Future Looks Bright. This is my favorite, the green one. Just yesterday, somebody placed an order for 100 of these. If you watch the PBD podcast, you got a bunch to choose from. White ones, black ones. If you smoke cigars and you come to our cigar lounge, we have this high quality lighter cutter and a holder for the cigars. We got sweaters with the Valuetainment logo on it. We got mugs. We got a bunch of different things. But if you believe the future looks bright, if you follow our content and what we represent with Valuetainment, with PBD Podcast, go to vtmerch.com. And by the way, if you order right now, there's going to be a special VT gift inside just for you. So again, go to vtmerch.com, place your order, tell the world that you believe the future looks bright. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.